Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to this month's Lunch and Learn. We are going to be talking about New Year's resolutions and how we can obtain them and keep following them throughout the year. So we do ask or stay, you're going to need a writing utensil and a piece of paper if you're going to follow along with the activity throughout this Lunch and Learn. But if in the case that you're not going to this first time, remember that this will be posted on our YouTube channel, so you can follow along later with it, as well as pause this video at any time that you need to take your time and really engage in these activities. So my name is Morgan Greenwood, and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator here at Planned Parenthood of the North Country, New York, and I will be your presenter today. So moving forward, we're going to talk about our community agreements first. Just stating that this is a confidential and safe space. Be respectful of everybody that speaks up, and we are asking you to speak up during this presentation. And then acknowledge feelings and not just ideas that do come about from this engaging conversation. And then our agenda for today is we're going to start with our ideas for the new year, obviously. Move into vision boards, which is a visual cue for what we're going to put as our goals. Move into smarter goals and then our action plans for the year. And then end off with some mindful meditation to really let all of that sink in for us. All right, so top 6 generalizations or generalized New Year's ideas or resolutions, whatever you may call them. These are the top 6 that most people put down on their goal list every year. So we're going to go one by one. So one is get organized. 2 is learn a new skill or hobby. 3 is live life to the fullest. That's one of my favorites. Save money or spend less. Spend more time with family and travel more. As you can see, these are very broad goals to be setting. And throughout this Lunch and Learn, we're going to learn how to focus more in on them and try to really get specific with what we're trying to obtain, because a very broad goal can be lost throughout the year easily. So we're going to start with our vision boards. So having a vision board can be incredibly inspirational while providing a sense of excitement for what is to come. Vision boards help us remind ourselves what we are working towards. We also want to keep these vision boards that we do make in a place that we always see it, to just keep reminding what we're working towards in our life. So this is an example. This vision board I made together on Canva. So we're going to touch down on a little bit of what these pictures mean to me. So up here we have a diploma. One of my goals or one of my dreams that I'm envisioning is finishing up my master's program. This middle one of books is just, I would like to read more books during this year. This one right here is I would like to earn a lactation consultant certificate at some point during this year as well. And then all of the rest are still another goals, but we're just going to focus on a few of those. So this is the example of what a vision board could look like, but know that a vision board can look different to everyone. So these are a few different ideas as well. These ones are pulled from Canva. It could be a triangle pyramid showing which the layers of which your goals could be. So like the top tier would be your most important goal through the year and then goes down gradually. Or just a different vision board where you have pictures instead of multiple little things. You can also make physical ones, cutting out pieces that you find in magazines or a newspaper and then gluing them onto a board that you can place anywhere in your house. The vision board experience is not specific. There is no real way to tell you how to do it. It is from your heart, putting it on a board and stating your goals and just a visionary work. So whatever you want to do for the vision boards, pause at this time. You can go on Canva. There's a ton of different websites if you want to do it digitally, or find some old magazines and make one. So moving on from our vision boards, we're going to try to turn our vision boards into goals. So we saw that I stated I want to find a lactation certification program near me. I want to study and do well in my classes to obtain my MPH. work on a routine that includes decluttering work and home spaces, and then continue to grow and welcome feedback at work. So all of these goals came from this vision board. And then we're going to create smarter goals out of these still very broad goals. So throughout this program, we're going to start from the broadest thing we could think of. So a vision board, just pictures of what we could envision, our dreams, or something that we see and want to get done throughout the year, to putting that vision board here now into goals. But you see that these are still very broad goals for me. We just want to find a program near me, not giving myself a timeline or anything that, study and do well in my classes, and then decluttering work and home, all very broad goals still. So we're going to move on and learn how to create a smarter goal.
When it comes to chasing our dreams, the only way I know to track our progress is to create milestones. Milestones show us what we are accomplishing and allow us to see how we accomplish even more. If you have stopped to read any of the statistics or articles on goal setting before, you will have read two things. One, people without goals are not as successful as they hope to be. Two, people who don't write down goals are less likely to accomplish them. What I have found over the last 10 years of dream chasing is how important goals are in the grand picture of seeing your dreams come true. Goals give us momentum to push through adversity we experience while chasing our dreams. This year, there was a huge push not to set goals. People were sharing about how terrible they felt last year when they failed to meet their goals, or how they never really follow through with achieving them. So, should we even set goals to try to see our dreams come true? Yes. The problem for so many people is that they haven't created goals which will help them succeed, and their inability to follow through because of fear or poor goal creation holds them back. This was me about 10 years ago. I would set goals at the beginning of the year and then never go back and look at them. I would have these really vague, general ideas of things I wanted to accomplish, but never create action steps or any plans to achieve anything. This is why goals fail. You have probably heard of the SMART goal system. This is a great system. In fact, when I finally got tired of never accomplishing my goals, I learnt about it and started to see some of my goals achieved. And then I learnt about the ER in goal setting. Let's start putting some goals together using the SMARTer system. Specific. Sounds pretty simple, right? Just write something down that is specific. The question is, how specific do I need to be? The answer, the more specific you are, the easier it will be to quantify your results along the way. For example, if you want to lose weight, to be more specific, how much weight do you want to lose? Better yet, what weight would you like to be at the end of pursuing your goal? A specific goal says this: I will weigh 200 pounds. We want to quantify our goals. To make a goal measurable, we need to be able to see progress over time. Say your goal is to write a novel. How do we make it measurable? You will need to make it very specific and measurable by going into more detail, which you can track. A specific goal for writing a novel is, I will complete writing a 50,000 word novel. Every goal should be actionable in terms of getting somewhere. However, when writing goals, we are talking about writing it as an action. A goal is actionable when it is immediately clear what action needs to be taken to accomplish it. A simple way to make items actionable is to begin them with a verb. So, try this. I will read 24 books. The R in the equation is relevant or relatable. Is your goal relevant or relatable to your life? When you are setting goals, this is the pragmatic look at what you want to do. When you set a goal, you need to think about your current situation. Some people will tell you to make a 10 times goal. Create a goal that is nearly impossible to force you to stretch yourself. While I think this is good, it's not for the first timer or for someone struggling at their goals. You need to create goals you can accomplish at your stage in life. Are you a father of 3 small children who works 2 jobs? You may not be able to work out 3 hours a day if you want to reach 3% body fat. Try this. I will decrease my percentage body fat by 10%. My start percent is X. Every goal needs a deadline. Why? So you are forced to take action in a certain time frame. Simply saying you will do something isn't good enough. You need to say when you will complete it. This way, you will need to map your path to success. Otherwise, you will always have the goal, but never have the urgency to accomplish it. Going back to the novel example, I will write a 50,000-word novel by December the 31st. Evaluate. This is where the rubber meets the road when it comes to your goals. We need to regularly evaluate our progress. When I ask people how often they looked at their goals, they say a few times over the year. This is why people fail at their goals. I evaluate my goals every month, and every week I read them. This helps me to remember what I am trying to do and make sure I take action every week. If there is anything you do differently about your goals, this needs to be it. Reward. Every goal and milestone needs a reward. We love getting something for a job well done. And when we are working towards our dreams, these little earned items help us to celebrate our milestones and be ready for the next step. Here is an example of a reward for paying off debt. Pay off debt by December the 31st. Buy one thing for $100 you would never buy for yourself. You may have really struggled with goals before, and if you're like me, you might have even failed all of the goals you set yourself in a year. But this doesn't have to be true of you anymore. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. C.S. Lewis. I love this quote because it reminds me how the goals we set for ourselves now, no matter our age or station in life, will help us change our story in the end. They will help us chase our dreams and see them come true.
All right. So now that we know what the base of a smarter goal is, we can move on to making them for ourselves. So here is where we can actually start to pause the video and write all these down for yourself in the notebook or piece of paper that we got, and then take those goals that you have from your vision board and then start plugging in each step. So for me, I used my example, find a lactation certification program near me, and then I added before February 2022. So you can stop and pause and read all of these if you like, but I went through the smarter goal setup with specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, time-bound, evaluate, and reward setup. So obviously I got more specific. I find a lactation counselor certification program that I am eligible to participate in. Then I moved and I said, I want to find a measurable thing for this specific goal. And that was wanting to find at least 3 programs and then compare them to keep me on track. And then attainable, there are a lot of services in our area that may know of certification programs around the North Country, and also online programs that may be available to me. And this goal is relevant to me because the certification aligns with my MPH program and the field of work I am in now. And then for time-based, I said I would like to find the program I specifically want to enter in and apply before February 28th. So that's the end of February 2022. And then following that, I would like to pass and be certified before completing my MPH program. And to evaluate everything that I've talked about so far, I'm going to rewrite my goals daily to see where I have made progress, where I still need to obtain progress, and all of that. And then finally, for a reward, which is always nice to have at the end of goals, is to obtain or to be able to add this skill to my resume and going out and having maybe a few drinks with my friends in celebration. So this part is very needed to keep moving on with this program today. So please stop this video and go through what your goal was and set it up like this if you'd like, in any way you would like. Just make sure you have each of those steps clearly written out and in conjunction with the video that we just watched. Because next, we're going to be putting those smarter goals that you've just done into a 5-step action plan. So what is an action plan first off? An action plan lays out the tasks you need to complete into actionable assignments based on a timeline to accomplish your overall goals or those overall dreams that you have on your vision board. A good action plan will outline all the necessary steps to achieve your goals and help you reach your target efficiently by assigning a time frame, so a start and end date, to every step of the process. It is essentially a layout of how you are going to obtain your goals step by step. And depending on your needs and your preferences, you can use this document to set single or multi-step goals. So we're going to watch another video that helps assess or break down what a 5 simple step action plan can look like. So before we get into the video, the 5 steps we are going to talk about next in the next slide and after this video are setting up your SMARTer goals, which we just did, creating a list of actions, or what this video is going to call a brain dump, setting a timeline for all of your goals, and then designating resources if it's a multi-step goal, or if you have people that you can designate things to, and then throughout the progress, monitoring it. So here we go.
Action plans. Why do you need them? How do you create them? And when is the best time to put one into action? I'm Ben Harvey, and this is this month's video newsletter for Authentic Education. I regularly get asked by people in our community, how do I put an action plan around the goals that I want to achieve in my life? Now, the funny thing is, action plans are actually quite a simple thing to create. The very first thing that I do when I want to take action is, first of all, determine what is it that I would actually like to create. I know it sounds simple. I know it's personal development 101, but here's the thing, you've got to get clarity. You've got to know exactly what you're actually wanting to take action on and what the desired outcome is. So let's just say, for example, that your action plan was to get your body fat down to 12%. So you wanted to trim, tone, and make your physique nice and terrific. Now, maybe it's something I should be working on. But here's the thing. If you know that you want to get your body fat down to 12%, well, now you know your outcome, which means you can start to create your action plan. Once I've done that, what I do is I get a piece of paper, and on the left-hand side of the piece of paper, I write the letter A. On the right-hand side of the piece of paper, I write the letter B. And I simply draw a line from A to B. Now that I have this piece of paper with A on one side and B on the other, I'm ready to start creating my timeline, which will eventually become my action plan. Next thing I do, I brain dump every single thing, every action I think I might need to take in order to achieve 12% body fat. So it might be things like change my diet. It might be things like go to the gym. It might be things like do some sit-ups. It might be things like drink more water. It might be things like consult people I know who have an incredible physique that might be able to share with me strategies and ideas of how to do that. Once I've brain dumped a whole list of things that are essential in order to get the result that I'm looking for, what I do is I look down the list and look for anything that is similar. And I start to crunch it down to the smallest number of actions I need to take to ensure that I'm actually going to get to where I want to go. So just a very quick recap before we go any further. I've got A on one side of this line, B on the other side of the line, and underneath the line, I've brain dumped every single action I think I need to take. I've then trimmed it down and got it down to the fewest number of actions required in order to achieve my outcome. Now, I may be left with 6 steps, 7 steps, 8 steps. I don't know exactly how many actions I'm going to be left with, but from there, what I do is I ask myself, what is the very first essential step that I need to take in order to move towards my outcome? Once I know that first step, I place it right next to A, and that becomes the first step in my action plan. Then I ask myself again the question, what has to happen next in order to get myself from A to B? And then I place that in and I place that in. Pretty soon, I have a full timeline going from A to B with every single step required in the correct order. By the time I've finished mapping that out and I've got my timeline complete, I now have an action plan. An action plan that at A has simple steps to follow, one after the other, that take me all the way across to B. This is how you create an action plan. My recommendation is go out there and work out what you want. Write A on one side, B on the other, do a brain dump, put it in some type of systemized order, and before you know it, you'll have action plans for everything. Now, the problem with an action plan is you need to take action on it. So if you haven't crafted an action plan before, my very first action for you is go out there and create an action plan. I look forward to seeing you in action, achieving those dreams, going out there, living an inspired life. I hope you got value out of today. I hope you learned how to create an action plan. And until we meet again, share your light, live your love, and do whatever it takes to be your own best friend. I'll see you soon. Take some action. Ciao. Oh, by the way, share this with your friends.
Awesome. So this is my action plan that I created from that last goal that we saw. As we already know, we've already created the smarter goals. My smarter goal was in this previous slides to find a lactation certification that I am eligible to participate in and apply to it before February 28th, 2022. So we've already created our smarter goal. Next, we're going to create a list of actions that I'm going to need to look into to obtain this goal or start the journey of this goal, which I kind of brain dumped a few things. This isn't the complete list, obviously, but things like organization, look online, contact community partners that I might know that they think they know of any certification programs around. So like I said, not a whole complete list. And then this is also the time that I started to create the deadline that I wanted, which is February 28th. So set a timeline. So by doing that, creating my deadline and creating this line that is technically the A to B, as you can see, I have started my timeline. So designating resources, we didn't talk about that a lot, but it's kind of just making sure that if you have to designate resources, like say, you had a multiple step program and you do have people underneath you that you can give some of these steps or tasks to help you out along to obtain these goals, designate it to somebody else to help you along in the greater scheme. And then finally, monitoring the progress throughout the time is I was going to create a checklist to keep me on track to obtain these goals throughout this timeline. And then finally, obtain my goal by February 28th. And then also, we're going to continue on to the next goal, obtaining. And after that, we're just going to keep moving on and on. So after all of this programming today, we kind of want to take you through a 5 to 10 minute mindful meditation to lock everything that we've done in today, to kind of take the time to think everything through that we've thought about today. Is this goal really what I wanted it to be when I created the smarter goal of it? Did the smarter goal go into this A to B timeline plan, action plan well enough? Did I brain dump enough steps that I think are going to occur throughout this timeline? We kind of just want to take all of that, what we thought about, and just really lock it in and take some deep breathing, mindful meditation time to just relax and absorb it all.
Hey there, and thanks for gifting yourself these next few minutes. It's important to remember that you're a priority, and allowing yourself even just a few short minutes of intentional reflection can really have a positive impact on the rest of your day. So let's use these next few minutes to come back to center and set an intention for the rest of your day. Move into a comfortable position, whether you're seated at your desk at work or laying on the couch at home, and gently close your eyes and shift all of your attention onto your breathing, taking slower, deeper breaths than you've taken all day so far. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and slowly letting it out through your mouth. Continuing to breathe that way, feeling your lungs expand out as you inhale and contract back in as you exhale. Tune into your body, noticing how it feels. Noticing if there's anything that it's trying to tell you. Notice any place of tension or tightness in your body. Give those areas permission to relax, sending love into those areas. Thank your body for taking such good care of you, and let it know that it's okay to rest and relax for these next few minutes. You may notice that your mind starts to wander off. That's okay. That's natural. Just notice it and bring your attention back to your body, using your breath as your anchor. Try to picture one thing that's happened today that's made you smile, or made you thankful or appreciative. And just let that feeling fill you up for a moment. Breathe that feeling in from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And allow yourself to smile if that feels natural. Now focus on something that you can do today, whether it's for yourself or for someone else, that will allow you to continue feeling this way. It could be something as small as deciding to go to bed early tonight so that you have time to finally read that book that's been on your bedside table, or the joy of getting dinner with a close friend. What's one little thing you can plan for your day to bring that intentional joy to it? Now just focus on that for a few minutes. Sit in that feeling of joy and peace. Now let's take a few more deep breaths together. A deep breath in, feeling your lungs expand out as you inhale, and everything contract back in as you exhale. Again, an even deeper breath than the one before it. Holding that breath for a beat and exhaling everything out. Last time, your deepest breath yet, sending that breath through your entire body. And exhale it out. And in your own time, slowly bring your awareness back to where you are. And thank yourself for taking these few minutes to just be intentional and kind to yourself. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and enjoy the rest of your day.
And that is exactly what we'd like you to do. We want you to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for being here with us today. Our next Lunch and Learn is January 26th at 12:30. All our Zoom links are found in our Instagram bios and our Facebook, so please look for them in our upcoming events at Planned Parenthood of the North Country, New York. Thank you for being here today.